Rolling off of the last episode where I talked about how it was very difficult to be the bad guy, that you have to make a focused, concentrated effort to take on that role. Vice, just how seemingly easy it is in most cases to not necessarily be the white knight, but be a good guy, generally speaking. I do think that you can maybe not be evil, but certainly be the anti-hero. No, I push it further past that. Be the bad guy under the right circumstances. Of course, there's always the games where you don't have a choice, where you are playing the villain, either for most of the game or for a portion of it. That's the predefined cookie cutter role you have been slotted into, and you have to be that guy. You don't have a choice. But then there are games where you do have a choice, and how should I say this? Based on circumstance, either through the game's narrative or through or through the seemingly good choices you've made prior, the bad choice seems like the right one. I'm trying to actually, you know what? I can tie this back into Mass Effect 2. The same group that I was going after, I think, was it the one where that girl was a member of the gang? No, I think it was the Eclipse Mercenary Gang. Might have been. It's when you're going to collect. Is it Thrawn? The Drell assassin. I'm forgetting his name. Man, it's been a while since I played that game. Jeez. Anyway, you're going through the building, and there's a portion where one of the mercs is radioing his guys, and I've been making my way up through the building at this point, and you sneak up behind him, and there's a very brief interaction where you have the choice of either, I think, knocking him out or punting him out a window. And I had been having a bit of a difficult time with his guys. They'd been trying to kill me. Let's not sugarcoat it. They were trying to kill me. So I perfectly felt, sorry, still a little early for me right now. I felt perfectly fine drop kicking him out a window. Didn't think twice. It's like, oh, renegade interrupt? Yes, please. Or a better example, I think, would be the Dishonored game. The first one anyways, because the second one isn't out yet, but I'm very excited for that one. You're playing Corvo. Given what's happened to you, given the murder you're framed for, and all the people who are attached to this plot to overthrow the government and really screw you over, you can understand why a lot of people wouldn't feel bad about killing these guys. And it takes, in that game actually, it's the reverse of what I said. It takes a lot of restraint, and I think in many cases makes the missions longer and more difficult if you choose to go the route of not killing them. Even more so if you go the route of not killing anybody. Because this is something that I also think about whenever I play one of these games where you do have choice. And I'll use Dishonored as an example, where you have to get, I think it's the Archbishop, the head of the religious order in the game. And he's in this large, imposing sort of courthouse building. And there's guards all over the place. Now, in any other game, you would cut your way through all of these guards, bust in through the front doors, take them out, leave. But I was trying my hardest not to kill anybody. And here's why. Because the first time that I played that level, I went through it like a hurricane. I took everybody out, bam. And it was quick and it was easy. And so I decided, you know what, let's try this without killing anybody. Let's see if we can pull this off. And it took quite a few tries, but I eventually did it. And as I was going through just like choking out the guards and putting them in places where they wouldn't be found, but at the same time making sure they were places where they wouldn't get hurt, it made me realize, like, if you take a step back, ignore the fact that this is a game and they're just, code and graphics. Think about the situation. The man they're guarding has done something wrong. Incredibly wrong. He's orchestrated the assassination of an empress. He's framed you for the crime and probably had some say in the decision of whether or not you would be imprisoned and executed. This guy has been instrumental in ruining your life and ending someone else's. He's a bad guy, a corrupt official, someone who, in a movie or a story, if someone took him out in revenge for those acts, we as the audience would be like, yep, absolutely, he deserved that. Thumbs up, gold star, top drawer. But the guys who were guarding him didn't do a thing. The guys who were patrolling the building, walking the streets, making sure the windows are locked, looking into suspicious sounds, and if they see you, attack you, they're not necessarily evil. They're not necessarily bad guys. Now, I mean, if you stop and listen to some of their conversations, yeah, some of these guys are assholes. Some of them are a bit corrupt. But stepping away from that for a moment, in relation to your situation and how you ended up at this point, they didn't do anything. The only thing they're doing in this scenario is their job. So when you're killing them, you're really killing them without reason. You're taking them out not because they wronged you, not because they had a hand in what the higher-ups did in this grand conspiracy. You're killing them because they're in your way. You're killing them because they're an obstacle or an inconvenience. But they didn't do anything wrong. In regards to your specific situation, they're really innocent bystanders. And killing them makes you almost more of a monster than the guys you're going after, because you got to think. You go through 3 levels and you kill all the little guys along the way, you're like filling graves by the truckload. You specifically by yourself. So when you hear them announcing how much of a monster you are over the radio, or you see those wanted posters, yeah, that's merited. You are widowing people just every time you take a step. So at least there, I would say that even killing the people who deserve it, depending on your point of view, isn't necessarily justified morally. If you believe that murder's wrong, then you shouldn't be killing these guys at all. And in a lot of cases, if you choose to go the finger quotes pacifist route and not kill them, but punish them for their crimes in a more unique way. For example, branding that guy with the mark of, what was it? You brand him with a mark that basically makes him an outcast. No one's supposed to touch him, help him, talk to him, look at him, that kind of thing. Another guy, I think it's the twins, you have them through one of your contacts in a local street gang shipped off to a salt mine where they're going to work there to the end of their days. Another guy, you broadcast his entire confession to everybody in the entire kingdom, even the guys who were guarding him who didn't know about this. So that tells you something. And then they come in and arrest him. Forgot about that scene. That really kind of cements what I said before, that they're just doing their job. And they may not necessarily know that their bosses are actually the real villain. But that's just sort of a follow-up to my thought there, that in the case of revenge, it's a lot easier to justify a evil action if it means that they're getting what they deserve. But, and I think I could go into this, should read up on it a bit more, maybe bring somebody in to discuss it. I think it's important to consider in those situations that the little peons, the grunts, they're in your way, and if they see you, they'll probably try to kill you, but they're not the villain here. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, if you did, like it, share it, and by all means, leave your comments. Always love to hear what you guys have to say. And until next time, my name's Rye. You guys take care of yourselves.